Hey guys, I got some awesome, exciting downloads I want to share with you guys that I feel very honored to actually share with you guys. I'm actually excited to share it with you guys. It's still new to me, but it's just nice to know I'm on the right track. It's something that I was seeking, confirmation like things are flowing the way they're supposed to, and when you seek, you shall receive, and I received. Um, and that would be concerning the ninth house in astrology form. Um, and I thought it was so funny because I just looked it up yesterday, but nine have been standing out to me a lot. Um, and usually nine to me always go with change in perspective. That's the intriguing part to me because this time it's coming in a different form. Um, Today I received it in the form as a father form, like when it comes to the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Um, and I've been working a lot definitely in this month that even sent me into a frozen form where I seemed like I had another breakdown again. It's that same energy. And it's coming from the father form. But what led me to even look that up because my actual birth father, it's his birthday today. So I was like, oh, that's so freaking cool. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna look up the ninth house. And it led me to that. Um, which is kind of intriguing how I'm able to do that, honestly. Figure puzzle pieces out like that. Um, by just looking up, it's my father's birthday, so I'm gonna look up the ninth house. Intriguing, huh? But my birth father, he's not actually present in my real life, but this month, because it's the end of the month of September, uh, I knew this was going to be an intriguing month. I even had to greet this month like, "Hello, September," and it's been a ride, enjoyable, and a very intriguing aspect this month, I would say. Um, where I want to start. I don't know, but I'm gonna go to family trees. The energy I was picking up is also a family tree aspect, where there's a lot of attention that needs to be paid in that area. Um, but it took me into a thought for my own self, honestly, because I'm the oldest out of seven kids. We're like adults now, I believe now, but I'm the oldest out of seven of my siblings. But the part that made me step outside of that is wondering, am I really an only child? Because my father did not have any more kids from my mom. I was the only one that my mom had a child with my dad. The rest of the kids outside, okay, it's seven of us. It's me who have a different dad, and it's my other brother who passed away who has a different dad. The rest of them all have the same father. So it's like, to an extent, am I like an only child when you really think about it? When it comes to like actual birth parents receiving, producing kids. That's something I had to think about. I know half of a part of me is still in that person because we still have the same mother, but we don't have the same father. Um, and that seemed to be a really important aspect when it comes to that family tree aspect. And it helped me honestly understand why I am seeking to produce. I'm like a dying breed out here. It's not many of my kind anymore. We've done a lot of mixing with other people. Um, I just, from my experience, have realized it's important to know yourself and the person that you're mixing with because y'all are literally creating something. You want that purpose to make sense, if that makes sense. If it don't make sense, it's just not gonna make sense. Because it's like knowing your life purpose and then that person's life purpose matches yours and then y'all create something, the purpose is going to be extraordinary, if that makes sense. That's what I'm getting at. Um, Same sex energy. Those ones which I had another breakdown again, but I already deal in that energy. I already deal in that energy where it's not like a breakdown, but it just seemed to get more intensified. It's like the level of awareness to it just need to be. Um, but it's taking me into an energy of somebody I'm dealing with the whole situation I'm dealing with. But It's a guy that I met at a job. His name is Lise Bennett. And it's funny because I recently spoke about this. I don't know if I think I did record it and I posted it. But where I met him at is the part that plays out this month. It's an impact job, and where I am supposed to impact this energy. And once I received it, I was like, that makes so much doggone sense. But it's so deep because it goes back to my old book, my old tarot board. Because I've done a lot of work, yo. Um, and I have a page that I use that I call a book slash tarot board. My story blends, because this is literally the impact is my story. It's part of my story blends. But he happened to be in the same sex energy. How can I explain that? I don't know. I feel like I just need to start from the beginning. Honestly, I didn't expect for this to be so long, but it's not even that long. It's only 6 minutes. But I met him at a job or whatever, at an impact job. We were working on a line belt, an assembly belt, and intriguingly, that day, I was another girl. Was a girl sitting next. Actually, was standing. She was not sitting next to me. She was standing. We was all standing. Where you think you at that you were sitting down, honey? That is funny. Shirley was standing, and she was talking about polygamy, and it was intriguing because somebody else that I'm connected to had the same conversation with me, and it was just intriguing. So it kind of felt like deja vu, honestly. But she was pretty cool, honestly. She was just saying that she tried it, but she didn't want to do it no more because the people that she was open with, they still were lying, where it didn't make sense for it to be, you know, I want to say still welcoming and accepting when it's just like they gotta lie because they still feel like they're not accepted. So it started making sense. Like, geez, that's really sucks. You know, you open with a person, you don't really care what they're doing, but they still lie to you. Like, want to make you think you're stupid about knowing what you already know. You know, it's weird, but I mean, I deal with that type of situation all the time. But it's just intriguing hearing it from somebody else who's in the situation that I have been speaking on and have been brought to me already. But fast forward into that, I think the next day or whatever, I had seen him outside of work. I think we was walking to the bus stop or whatever, and I'm just like, "What's your number? I want your number." So he gave me his number or whatever, and we started talking. Um, I feel like I need to get fast forwarded. We just spent most of the time at work, and if you recognize me at work, like I'm working right now, but if you see me like in a outside project working with others, I work a little different. Like even here, like if somebody come and try to talk to me, it's like, don't you see I'm working? Like I have my focus, and I'm the same way on a different job site. Like I be focused. I came to do something. I'm going to do it. You know. Then when I'm done, I'm leaving and going home. Like I don't be on buddy, friend, let's talk all day business while I'm on the job site. And people don't understand it because it seems like that's what they do. And it's like, hey, I do understand that's how people make friends, you know. It seems like I should be the same way to an extent because it's like, I don't see no other way that I would make friends, honestly. Just by the type of person that I am naturally. But so he probably thought I was really standoffish and really didn't like him, honestly, because just the way I behaved at work. On top of, I was already in a situation where I was in a show chair and all that. So it was like, I don't know. But I feel like I need to fast forward a little bit. I'm gonna fast forward. We stopped talking for a while, you know, because he started getting irritated and he was already doing what he was doing. Cause he was an intriguing aspect. I tell you no lie. I have to go back and rewind. At the job site, yeah, I got to rewind. It was freaking funny. I tell you no lie. He was talking to somebody else at the doggone. It's the same aspect as right now. I swear to God. Even with me just about to think what I'm about to say, it's the same aspect. It's funny, to an extent. It's funny to an extent. I give myself chuckles. Okay, he was talking to somebody else at the warehouse before I even got there. Like they already had their own situation going on, but I didn't know about it. Um, I don't remember even how it got brought to my attention that they were talking, but I realized she had the same name as me and everything. Like she was another Brittany too, and it was so funny because I didn't mind her. One day he didn't show up to work, and we worked on the same belt. This is after I realized the information or whatever. You know, I'm just like I asked her like, "What's going on with y'all guys? Y'all talking or whatever?" And first, I think she was a little standoffish. I'm just like, "Look, yo, we talk all the time. He be sending me dick pics and everything, you know, like." And I had to even describe because, for to an extent, she started seeming like she didn't believe me. Like I was just making this foolery up. I was able to describe all his tattoos, what hand he jack off with, and everything. I can describe the way his head of his penis look. Okay, don't play with me. What the hell I got a lie for? It was weird. But once she realized, like, oh yeah, you identified a lot, so there's no way that this is not true. I guess she went to the bathroom and she texted him or whatever, and she came back and she was just like, they said it's not true and that I'm funny. He texted me and told me I was funny, actually. And I'm just like, you is intriguing, yo. Why you out here lying to these people? Fooleries. But even after that, I still didn't mind it. Like, my attention was still on him. It was not like it drew me away from him. It just was like, you're being weird, dude. Like, I didn't care. And they even started sitting together at work and stuff. And I really didn't care. It's like, I had a job. You sit where the hell you want to sit at. Like, I don't control people I deal with. That's the intriguing part. I don't feel it's my job to. Like, some people's like, we at work together, you know? We have to sit together because we together. It's not, that's weird, yo. But, that's weird, yo. I'm not saying, you know, it would have been nice to sit with him, but sometimes he did sit with me. That's the intriguing part. But he only did it when she left, and it was just like, dude, get out of my face, booties. Get out of my face, booties. Because I like authenticity. I can't even say the dang on word, huh? How you like it and you don't even know the word? I just use a different one. I like authentic behavior. There we go. Um, just because, like, if you like her and you like me too, just let it be, yo. Like, why do you have to hide and lie? It's weird to me. I don't. It's weird. Like, if she can't accept it, then she just got adios. But when somebody is helping you, you feel entitled, and she was helping him with things that he needed. You know, he needed some money. She was surely giving it. You know, so even in that aspect, I understood. It's like, hey, I'm not upset with you getting a blessing. Like, that is a super blessing. Go get it, okay? And bring your tissue back. But some things are just too good to be true, you know. So it reminded me of this situation I'm in now. That's the funny part. Of the same sex though this time. You know, last time I had the same name. This time it's like just saying ginger. It's intriguing. But the aspect here says it's not true because he's dealing with Maga. That's why I gotta fast forward it to finish telling you the rest of the story. Okay. Oh, so much happened at the dang old warehouse. Because me and Mr. Lees, we were on a bus kissing, and somebody else in the warehouse told her, this is the girl Brittany, that me and him was on a bus making out, but he told Brittany that the other Brittany that he didn't know me, that, you know, I was just stalking him and stuff. Like, she just came and sat with me on the dang on bus. I didn't, you, the way I just said, you know, you can sit wherever you want. I guess he tried to play that move on her. It's like, what? So she had found out about me too, but she realized from somebody else that same, there's no way I was freaking lying. Somebody else came and told her the same damn thing I was telling her. But, you know, hey, fast forwarding, we stopped talking for a while. You know, there's no messages happen. I might text him, but he don't text me back. So I'm like, okay, whatever, dude. Talk to you when I talk to you. But a lot of time went by. We're like, I ain't worried about him even texting me because he probably not going to. You know, because I know he deal with other people. It's not like something that I'm just like, he messed with somebody else. I know he like to deal with other people. I'm not upset with that, whatever. So I felt like somebody else had his attention, so I wasn't thinking about it. And I had two phones at that point in time. And my son's phone had broke. So I'm like, you know what, you can use my phone because I don't use it. And the only time I really was using it was to talk to Mr. Leaves. So I was like, use his phone. I guess in that process, finally one day, he decided to send another fucking dick pic. who has my phone. My son has my damn phone. What happened in between that is all blurry, but from my understanding of energy I received, it was, he showed my ex. Well, actually, before that happened, my son probably responded back. Like, I have a feeling that my son went in the bathroom, probably took pictures of his dick and sent it back. What happened in that aspect? Did it go back and forth? Who knows? But it's just intriguing because even with me saying that, it takes me into an energy of. I told my son that Mr. Least was an officer. I told him he was a cop. I said, I'm dating a cop. So it's like, if he did play back into that, my son probably just looking, he reached out for help, but it turned out to be a nightmare. It's like, oh, officer played back. Whoa. It makes it seem like the whole situation is right because, like, he's already in a harmful situation. Then he reach out to an officer and it's like, well, officer do the same damn thing. Is this actually a right thing to do? It became really intriguing. I know. But eventually my ex wound up seeing it. And my ex got astounded by it. He was amazed by that damn penis. And they started talking back and forth. Which leads to the situation that we're still in. Because my ex would say, all this is not true. But it's like, dude, you displayed all the fucking time. And I know who I was dealing with before you even got to him, okay? And it's the part where I impact. Because it's just like, I know Leaves. He knows me. It's like, how can I explain that? I don't know. It's like we just work off this. The aspect that I'm in right now with my eyes closed, that's how we work off. And then even got a whole child on the eternal aspect. That's what makes it deep. This is the part where I have to rewind back into the beginning. We talked a lot and he used to send me dick pics and stuff. There was a time where he jacked off and he sent me a picture of it. He jacked off and he sent me a picture of it. He's an intriguing person. He loves displaying his penis intriguingly. And it's funny because I never used to like penises. Definitely not from a voice. It's like, oh, you little filthy machine. Why would you send this to me? Like, that would be an instant turn off for sure. But I think that's the actual part where I fell in love with him. That's the intriguing part. But I understand why now. He really is my eternal. He helps me create for the eternal aspect. Which is funny because I actually told him that one day we were out walking down the street. And I'm just like, I really want to learn with you. You just got to let me learn with you. I actually told him that before I even realized, all this was going to even display to even happen. I feel like there's something else I was saying. I kind of forgot. I feel like it's a little scattered, but okay. The penis, him sending me that damn penis picture. And it was a picture of him jacking off, like the nut was actually coming out, or sperm was actually coming out. And I was like, oh my god, that's so intriguing. Then I realized, oh my god, we got a whole child. His energy created a whole child. And I named her Sky. And it helps guide me all the time. She guides me all the freaking time. I believe I even greeted her today. I did greet her today. I'm glad your presence is here, Mr. Leaves. Which I told him the best thing we could do is have a child. And it's not a joke. If we got this type of guidance off a spiritual aspect, it'd be just how I said if we had it in the physical aspect. It'd be so much better. Where I can even get beneficial side effects, You confused, okay, I'm just going to give you a little kicking, how babies kick in their stomach and stuff. It'd be extraordinary, But he thought I was crazy for saying that. Like, what? Have a baby? Are you crazy? No. It sounds crazy, but it's so beneficial in so many different forms of a way. It makes no sense. It makes a lot of sense, pardon me. It makes so much sense how beneficial it is, but that's where that came from. Because people say, how y'all got a child, It wasn't even physical penetration that did this. It was just releasing of it and who you send it to. You sent it to me, it's mine. Already knowing our connection that we have. I didn't realize it at that point in time until later. Like, oh, how so intriguing. Because it's funny because he used to call me a stalker. And I never understood why he called me a stalker. Like, dude. I'm talking about Mr. Leaves. The other person is my ex that I'm referring to. It's him and Leaves Bennett and my ex Donald. They got a little connection going on, but it's still in the air. It's like they going through judgment and they denying it. Well, I can't even say they. One party is denying the other party, so we're not making it. Even though we seem like we're here, we're still over there because one is denying it to the fullest. Like the other one, I haven't talked to him, but he don't ever lie to me. And we have a child that gives me the whole information. My kids don't lie to me, you know. They just don't. I have one that's physical that seems to lie to me a lot, but he a Jackson, yo, so what you want me to do about it? I'm being a little funny, but super serious at the same time. But he only lied just out of fear, honestly. That's what I would say. Most people, when they are afraid, they lie. It's like, well, why are you? We're making you afraid where you have to lie. That's where you got to read in between the lines, but move that conversation to the side. It's another energy. What was it? What was the other doggone energy? The family tree. The father. Oh, siblings. Which I thought this was so freaking important, which even goes with how I said, I feel like I'm the only child. But this is the energy as into the younger sibling will reflect your spouse. And I thought that was so intriguing because this is something I learned from going and watching the video of the knife house, which I'm gonna share it as my story probably because all this information is based off of this knife house energy and a purpose that's supposed to be happening in it, the energy that's coming out. But he was speaking on the siblings, the younger sibling reflecting your spouse. And I thought that was so intriguing. Like, it's more I got to think into, but I thought that was intriguing, and that's a big energy for ones who, don't have younger siblings. Maybe it's not for you, But it do take me into a form as into when it comes to incest, there is a lot of that, and it is part of a family tree. How can I speak on that aspect? I don't know. You may have just dealt with your sibling because your sibling really is going to reflect your doggone spouse later on, if that makes sense. Then is the energy of water, which is funny also because this month I have spoke on fasting because it was an energy that was really needed. And that's just going without. Like some people are like, I'm not going without food. It's not based off of just that. It's so much deeper into it. I guess if you go off a religion aspect, you might think that's just for Muslims, or there's other cultures I realize that do it too. I learned that where was it? I think it was at Impact too, actually, where I learned this. I think she was like Turkish or something, and she literally ate nothing for like a whole month. Like she didn't eat nothing and she didn't drink nothing. Like nothing entered her body, and I was like, whoa, yo, that's extraordinary. And for me, as soon as I heard it, I was like, oh, you're preparing for the end of the world. There's no way that you're not preparing for the end of the world, yo. You're preparing for the end of the world. There's no way she's not preparing for that. Like her religion is her part of religion is preparing her for that aspect to happen. Even though for me personally, I have realized we're all connected, but somehow we're separated. It's like a divorce. We work together, but things happen and people separate, and over generations, people just choose which direction they go in. Even though it was one to one, which makes it still one. That's the intriguing part, honestly. It makes me think of like business partners, your spouse being your business partner, and things go wrong, or even how I just sat there and said, I use that aspect. You have a purpose, and then you find your spouse who had the same purpose as you. Then y'all create a child. I don't know. So I'm thinking if I can use that because it seems like it won't be broken. That's like a perfect aspect. Honestly, I'm just going back and listening to what I was thinking. This is my mind starts going in that aspect to think that like, is that the same aspect? Should that happen in the same aspect? I want to say no. It's perfect. Honestly, it's just perfect. But a lot of people, it don't happen that way. You normally don't have a child based off. Oh, like, we got the same purpose. It's more of our pockets looked it right together, or we just looked it good to people. We liked it the way we looked. So we decided to have a child, and it's like, whoa, that's not enough, yo. Because that inner part is going to reflect in a whole different form of a way. Trust me. Or it might not be so beautiful no more. I'm just saying, this is an area to be really careful in. I have living proof of myself of it, okay? So I'm not being funny or judging anybody, but it's one of those when you know better, you do better. That's why I'm not in a rush to have a child by just anybody. I know the effects that comes with it. And the importance of what's happening. But anyway, I was talking about the divorce. Somebody being together and then getting divorced. But they created so much in there. Which goes to me in the beginning. It was a lot of creation that happened. But once you get divorced, things separate, And that's why a lot of my work, as I explained before, I put it in different areas. There's not just one area I put my work into. Like, I might post one thing on my Facebook, which is Skulls Welcome. Then I put something else on my Twitter, which is, you should follow my Twitter if you're not. I keep it lit all the time. Like, it's really good. It's like an actual lighthouse. But all my work is, but, I do like that form a lot. It's one thing I see that stands firm. Like, don't ever really break. Seriously. Like, I used to have a page that was called Saint Ginger _ and that page disappeared, and the only thing that stayed to keep part of it was my Twitter. There's times I even get blocked off Instagram or get blocked off Facebook. Twitter, that has not happened. Twitter is quite an official aspect, I would say. It stands solid, just like a tower. And it reminds me of an original form, like writing notes or letters. I said notes, writing letters. Because you have to write it out. You can use images and stuff, but I seen they even added something new where I don't know how new it is, but it's new to me. But you can like hear your voice in it, like it's a voice recorder, something like that. I don't remember what I was trying to do, but I clicked on. I said, "Ooh, a microphone or something like that." That was quite cool. I still have an original mind, where it's like, oh, I don't need all that. I just write it down really quick, but it is nice to have. I operate like an old person, trust me. I operate like an old person. The Turkish lady, okay. That's how she described her fasting to me, and I just thought that was so intriguing. Like, wow, a whole month, don't eat nothing and don't drink nothing. Oh, wow, But that's how her culture prepares her for that situation. Which I believe we all can, but some people, I guess, take baby steps. Because even with me saying that, it seemed like it's a baby step. Like, how long you do it for. Instead of just trying to push yourself to do a whole month, you probably will collapse so quickly, But, it's literally just going without, like, you can go without good health. You may have to go without your phone. You may have to go without your spouse. You may go without finances. It's just learning to be separated from something but still receive at the same time. Fasting, you're never losing. Like, even with the water aspect, it helps with your intuition. And a lot of people don't get ready for that. A lot of times they get drained and stuff. Like new people, even people like me who've done it quite often, get drained one is clearing out things, and then you're receiving from your crown chakra on top of that. Some people it's too much for them, but it's beneficial if you can just push yourself to go, keep going. I guess it's like working out. It's the only other way I can explain it. It hurts at first, but it's like, oh, eventually, oh wow, you know. That's why a lot of people who fast or even detox themselves, they feel better afterwards. They feel like enlightened. Because they learned to go without. But even while I was doing it, because I have begun to consume of solid foods, I've been eating my vegetables, which I'm excited about. I love vegetables. I kind of like vegetables more than fruit, honestly. But the day I had some grapes, I'm about to say strawberries. I surely didn't have no strawberries today, but I might get some because I felt like my mouth was about to say strawberries. You didn't have no strawberries today, honey, or did you? Did you have some strawberries? Somebody probably had some strawberries. I did not. I had grapes today. I did not. I had grapes today. But I've been eating vegetables since I have picked up eating solid foods. But before I started, I felt the need to get back on and talk about, again, it's like, I thought you just already explained it more. Look, yo. It's another aspect to be able to help you understand the eternal aspect. Like once you leave out of this physical form, how to still be connected. Because you're going without something here, but you're still receiving. But it's kind of hard to explain, but it's not. Jesus Christ. I don't know why I said my lips like that, but it is that aspect too. A lot of people are receiving, which is called like an awakening or ascending. It's helping when you're going without. I'm still even drinking my water. Like, I'm just in consuming of solids, but the ones that still not consuming of solids, you're preparing to still identify to the eternal aspect, and you're going without. Even if you go without your phone, you know, outside of the water, because people they still just ain't having it. You may forget your phone at home today, like you might have rushed out for work today, and you left your phone. Don't go back. You're going to receive what you need because the eternal aspect is going to guide you. If you have a spouse, you're away from them. Don't worry. You're still going to be able to connect to them. Or maybe you need to focus on yourself, honestly. I mean, I do feel that energy is like, nope. I heard a little switch might say, nope. Part of my laughter, because look, I'm not laughing about it. I have had a partner that I'm still connected to that person, which is driving me crazy to an extent, but y'all not gonna be together. It's literally you have to focus on yourself, and it's intriguing. It's so intriguing. I feel like I even got a little teary eye. I love because that switch went in my head like, nope, nope, you will not. So some people are like, no, maybe you're a little crazy one where it's like you literally just gotta focus on yourself. You might invest all your time in your partner or your kids. You gotta focus on yourself. I feel that energy. Where it's like, don't worry about them being gone. Focus on you. Focus on your not your spouse, maybe. But this energy is definitely, it was a switch. No. Mm-mm. You're gonna be receiving it in a different form, and apparently it's through self. But that's still good, honestly. Even if you're working on yourself, a person like me, I can communicate from so freaking. I feel like there's nowhere I can't communicate from, like from a distance. I am definition of social distance. Definitely when it comes to communication, oh, I can full quarter it. Like I'm a half quarter, full quarter, oscillante. The question is, can I do that? You know, up close. What do you call those when you about to? I don't know what it's even called. A layup? Am I good at layups? Can I do the same thing when I'm close? Honestly, I want to say yes, but I haven't had that type of connection with nobody where they actually so close. We always been doing it from a distance. But half court, full court, I'm shooting. all day. Because I'm just that good when it comes to that. But it all comes from the crown chakra, which I naturally say I'm a translator because it's like people don't understand or they don't even think anything's on the other side, you know. They think once this physical form leaves, it's a done deal. It's like, no, yo, they're still there. They're still there, yo. Um, it's just, for me, the best way I can explain it in the energy I'm working in at the moment is a yin and yang, or a clock form of a way. Because, like, something, they might leave out this physical form at 3 o'clock, you know. But that time is going to come right back to there. But if you saw that their physical form left out, so you don't think it's ever going to be 3 o'clock again. That time is still there, even if you don't see it. They're still there. I hope that was a good example, but that's just the way I felt like giving it, because that's the energy I feel. But it's the yin and yang, the light and dark, which is taking me to like the here realm and I want to say the outer realm. Also, the downloads, people wonder where they come from. There's no way it's this planet. This energy is not from here. But it helps me understand the shadow form, how I explain it a lot. I feel like my face might fail. Is I don't know what that was. That was kind of intriguing. That was intriguing. Hold on. Big thirsty, huh? Tasty. Tastes like candies. I'm just being a little sarcastic. Because some people don't like water, and it's like, tell your mind it tastes just like candies. That's what I do sometimes. It tastes like candies. Yum, yum, yum. But if you're a person who don't like candy, then you gotta, whatever next best thing is you like, you know. Tastes like candies. Okay, my mind got a little distracted. Pardon me. The Father. This energy is coming from a whole nother planet. But it comes in a shadow form. That's already here. But for me, it takes me back to the whole making of creation, honestly. Because people always wonder, like, who came first? Did the guy come first? Did the female come first? And all this and that. It's like, I don't know if I can explain it. It's a different planet. I need a minute. My mind is. I need a minute. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. But so I can explain it. There's another way I can explain it other than it's another planet, and it comes in a shadow form. The way we can communicate with each other though is because we came from that same planet. That's the only way I can explain it. Like if you're not related to it, you're not from that planet. It's like, see, it's kind of even funny because I was even thinking of like greeting you in that same form of a way that I'm about to explain as into. I am that voice that whispers. That voice that whispers to you. And you are that voice that whispers to me. We're from the same planet of energy that comes here in a shadow form. I don't know how I can explain it. But as I explained, shadows don't just stay still. Shadows be all over the place. Which is so beneficial. It took me, honestly, I think it was my last video I made, not mention Mr. Trump. Well, I didn't mention him, but I said something and it reminded me of him. He says, Believe me. And I was like, I sound like Mr. Trump. And I'm not against Mr. Trump. I like Mr. Trump a lot. I didn't agree with everything he said. Honestly, personally, I really didn't. But I just liked his whole aspect of wanting to make a place great. I see a lot of aspects where it can be. Um, well, he said again, make a place, make America great again. And it's like, at first I was against that. I was like, this place was not great. This place was built off a lot of pain, yo. But it can be. But I went back and I thought, like, that freaking marriage was perfect. Or at least it seemed, it was together, it was solid. But then it got separated. That's why a lot of religions, they all pretty much do the same thing scatteredly, if that makes sense. From what I've noticed, I have dabbled in Christian. I grew up in a Christian church, but I always explain I really never knew why I was there. I just showed up. I didn't get explained too much why I was there. Then I started going to a Catholic church as an adult. Like my personal adult self decided to struggle over to a Catholic church, and the first time I went there, I cried my eyes out. I had this big old. I gotta tell you how I showed up, yo. Cause this is a Catholic church. This conservative.com, at least from what I hear. I don't really care how they dress. I'm there for the message. So, from what I hear, it's a really conservative aspect. And my intriguing self who just like, hey, I showed up, yo. That's all that matters. I'm here for a message. I heard that this operates off a blind aspect anyway. As far as I care, I need to show up ass naked. Seriously. That's how they do it in the garden. Like, I have not done nothing wrong, and then if I have, I'm surely about to repent. And then I'm gonna get to come in here ass naked again. Because that's how they was in the beginning until they did something wrong. Then they realized, oh my God, I should cover up. Because people can see what I have done wrong, so I gotta bedazzle this shit up really quick. But anywho, I'm gonna back to what I'm talking about. Aspect how I showed up my first day. I had this really big shiny jacket that looked like a crystal ball, like one of them disco balls, but it was all silver. I had got it from the thrift store, which I was so geeked by because it was so gorgeous. I was like, oh, wait till I go outside. I'm gonna just be so gorgeous. This is even before I even realized I was going to be going to a church. Definitely a Catholic church. I did plan on going to a few different churches, figuring out where I fit in at, I did feel energy to go to a bunch of churches and figure out where I belong and also the connections that's there. But I did it in a different form. But anywho, first day I show up in that big old disco ball shiny jacket. I got up early too. I didn't know what time church started. I thought it started like at 6 in the morning. So, I'm there early. I realized nobody else was there at that point in time. It was a few people, but they were preparing for Sunday school, which totally forgot about Sunday school, but I was first on the scene for the most part. And I went straight up to the front to like the altar part. And I just began to cry and cry and cry and cry and cry. It was the most intriguing aspect. And then I realized I wasn't in there by my doggone self. It was a lady in there, and she was playing the piano. At least she stopped when I was there, because I don't remember even hearing no piano. Or maybe I did. I was just so in the moment. I was in the moment. But eventually, I realized she was in there. Her name was Mary. Her name is Mary. And I remember she just came over and comfort me or whatever, and told me that Sunday school was about to be started, and I can go down there with them. And get some coffee, enjoy Sunday school. But I think eventually I wound up going down there, but I just really just wanted to sit in there and soak in the moment, because I was in a moment. I can't tell you what moment it was, but it had me in emotional.com, but it felt good, like I found home or something. But I went down to Sunday school or whatever, and it was really good. It was a bunch of older people in there, It wasn't no young people. I always thought Sunday school was for like kids or babies or whatever. These were all older people still studying the Bible, which I thought was intriguing. Just like, that's pretty cool, no big deal. It just Christian school. That's how I thought it went from my grew up situation. You know, just the kids go to a such thing called Sunday school. Um, Bible study is like on a Tuesday or Wednesday or something like that. But I got down there and I realized we were watching a program of somebody else, of a speaker, and I was like, oh my God, this is what I do all the time at home. Like, I get up in the morning and I cut the TV on and I watch one of my little pastors or ministers or whatever you call them. You know, somebody giving me the word from the same source that, you know, we all receive it from. I don't get stuck on just the name, you know, pastor, priest, you know. It's like, that source sent you this message, I'm tuning in. So I normally used to watch Prince Joyce. Oh my God, I can't think of his name. I don't know why I feel so intriguing. Prince Joseph, Joyce Myers. It's another one too. But those are the main two I used to watch a good amount. Oh, it's another one. I didn't find him on Program TV. I found him on YouTube. And I think his name, oh my God, he's a really cool one too. Pastor Stevens, Frank Stevens. I don't know, but he's more of a, I want to say for the youth, like younger generations, but he still fit in with the older crowd. He's like, he probably could be my age, a little older maybe, but the way that he delivers the message is just like so relatable in so many different forms of ways. It's intriguing. Because I always thought, you know, pastors have to be a certain, let me put on a suit and tie, but he got jeans on, yo, and tennis shoes. It makes the atmosphere more calm where you able to receive other than, you know, it's a different setting. I like it a lot. But I really think his name is, oh my God, Stephen Franco. I might share even a link to get to him because I think he's quite extraordinary too. But I'm gonna work on names too because I'm not a person who work off names. If I remember your name, oh my God, it's for a really intriguing reason. I just go off energy, honestly. Or I give people names, but I mainly operate off just energy. So I will work on that more, remembering people's names, so you know I can help you guys a little better. Cause y'all might need to go and reference to them too. But anyway, back to Sunday school. So we was watching it or whatever, and I thought it was intriguing. Like I felt good. I was like, I'm on track. Y'all doing the same thing that I was doing. I didn't even have to leave home. That's extraordinary to me. But afterwards or whatever, it went off, and we actually got to talk about it. You know what we seen, which that part to me is so important because that's what I really be seeking. Because it's like after you watch something, it do trigger your mind, and you want to talk to somebody about what you just seen. You know, like, did you just pick up the same thing I was picked up? Like, what perspective did you see this thing? You know, so I did really enjoy that aspect. Or maybe you just literally didn't understand nothing from the message, but you need a translator too. You just watched something, but you still need a whole translator to translate what y'all all just watched. So I enjoyed that aspect, and that's how my first day of, you know, where I chose to go to atmosphere was for me. On top of that, when church actually started, my little intriguing self decided to go way up to the front and sit with the, you know, pastor and all. I decided to sit up there with the big people. And I really did not know that, you know. And it just was so intriguing. Like, when you home, you know home, yo, okay? But after then, I did start sitting way in the back. And it's like, that's just my natural behavior. Not saying, you know, I wouldn't be up in the front, but if you're in the back, you can observe everything that's going on, you know. In the front, I don't know what you're doing behind me. What you back there doing, you know. So I normally like to be in the back so I can observe everything that's going on. Ain't nobody behind me, and if they are, I know they're good enough to be back there behind me. It's just how I naturally behave. It's just the way it's kind of funny because a behavior, if you been around me or, you know, even listen to me talk about it, even when I ride the bus sometimes, I have a tendency to sit way in the back. If they take me to like a Rosa Parks situation where it's just like they make us get in the back, you know, she wants to sit up in the front and he's like, you know, you get to the back. Maybe it was for the best. She can observe you two guys, because at least for me personally, that's how I operate. I really know what's going on before it just hit me. They ain't got a choice to, escape too quickly. Y'all right in the front. But it do take me into that mindset when I say that, but I do sit in the middle sometimes, and I do sit in the front sometimes. It depends on the situation, but that was how my first day went in Catholic home living. Catholic home living. Which got me into reading out the Norman, which that's the book I still have at the moment. I've been highlighting out of there. Well, I skipped something. How did I dare I skip them? Sorry guys. I started to pray to Allah before I even went to the Catholic Church. This is when I lived, I want to say right across from where I live at now, because it's called Hamilton Creek. I began to pray there. I guess my mind was like, I had enough. We gonna pray. You know, some people say when you had enough, what brings a man down to their knees? I got brought down to my knees. I began to pray on my own. It wasn't something somebody said, you should go pray. I just began to pray, to Allah. Like I would specifically speak to Allah when I prayed. But I stopped doing that. I used to do it and I felt better. Like once I prayed, I felt better. I stopped because nobody around me identified as that being a source to even pray to, except for one people. They say, "Oh, Allah, that's for some Muslim people. That's not for you." So I stopped praying to Allah. Even though I did feel better when I did. I just stopped because I guess I got discouraged because, people saying that's not for you, making me feel like I'm all off track. It's like, yo, hey, are you identifying as a Muslim? No, I am not. No, I'm not. I would say that I felt the need to pray to him, and I did feel better, but I don't identify as one. I say I do spiritual work, which connects to all my religions. Personally, I have realized, which I was reading out the Quran before I went to the Norman book, and I learned a lot, honestly, out of the Quran. Which you do go back to something that I talked about recently as to the submissive behavior and how women are supposed to behave to the men. But the men need a little bit more disobedience for the women to be able to be submissive to them, because they abuse their power to the fullest level, I have realized. Which make the women weak when they're not supposed to be. You're supposed to want to be submissive. It should be beneficial to be submissive. It shouldn't be an intimidation or fear based. You should not just be beating on your women. Like, that's a negative to the fullest level. Because it takes me to slavery, honestly. And it's like, it's not the type of form, they're not that type of property of yours to do that. And for me, I do realize I have natural submissive behavior, which is beneficial, but it's dangerous in the wrong hands, as I just explained. But you should want to be submissive. It's something that comes naturally. You might not even, for me personally, a person that I was submissive to, and they reflected that energy to me in the Allah form, a Muslim form, they were very disrespectful, but it's the fact that I still wanted to be submissive. That's the intriguing part. That's what opened my eyes to realize, oh my God, there's a lot of women and people that follow this aspect, but they're not mentally as strong as me. And it gave me a whole different perspective, But I dabbled in that one, which that's what people are saying. When I went from praying to Allah to going to a Catholic church, people start saying, you all over the place, and it's like, I'm sorry, it's just the way it is. We all scattered all over the place. But we have a God of love, which is infinite. He just don't choose one dog on side. So I have to go travel and gather all these freaking puzzle pieces to be able to give that. you know, or I would be on just one side when I'm not supposed to be. Um, it's a word for that, prejudice or something like that. It makes me one of those people to something I shouldn't even be when I should be welcoming to it. And now I'm getting into astrology. I'm feeling the energy to learn about the houses. Um, so circling around and learning as we supposed to be. But a lot of people somehow they expect you just to stay in one aspect. You know, if you start off praying to Allah, you stay there. How dare you think about going and learning about some astrology? Like I'm not supposed to send and learn more as I can, as learn much as I can. You know, but I'm supposed to. You know, it defeats the purpose of life. And some people don't even believe in that. You know, if you're a religious person, you don't normally focus your attention to astrology, but I'm pretty sure you pay attention to the clock a lot and the calendar a lot, but they don't say it's one of the same. It's like you have to take it all, yo. Which takes me once again as to how I started off this energy being about the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. You have to take all three angles. You can't just be like, I only want the Father and not the Son, or I just want the Spirit, but I don't want the Father and the Son. You know, you have to have all three. It's important to understand all three. Which is kind of funny to me. It's kind of to the side of a topic, but it makes a lot of sense at the moment for me personally, and probably for you guys too if you're on the same aspect as me. I spoke of how my kids will operate and how elements to me play a really big part in me giving birth and the type of guidance for my purpose, and how the elements play in that. Like me, I'm an earth symbol. I'm a Taurus, and it goes with the purpose for me. My spouse would either have to be a water sign. It could be an air sign, like a Virgo, but it, you know, it just have to complement each other. But it would be in that type of form of a way. And it's funny because that day I talked about that. I had a shirt on. It was a Reebok shirt, and it had a symbol of like a triangle in it, which symbolized like 3 more. You got 1. You got 3 more to go, honey. Which I think that's quite awesome, honestly. But I thought that it just caught my attention to talk about it again because that's just what that reminded me of, the 4 elements, which I work on all 4 elements very well. I focus a lot on the water aspect, which I feel like the person I'm connected to is a water sign, and the abundance in that aspect is making the connection just stay because it's like a perfect balance, which I believe here in Aquarius. But just with me even just knowing that that's the energy I had to pay attention to produce here, I thought it was really cool. Because some people, I feel like I need some lips moisture. My lips getting a little dry. And this video is almost an hour. Wow, I've been going and going and going, but it's a lot of energy. It's good energy. It's just a lot of it. What else was I about to say? I got music in my head a little bit. It's not even music, it's just a sound effect, like instrument or something. I'm about to wrap it up though, because I kind of forgot. So I feel like even with me looking at the clock, it's showing, yep, time to wrap it up. Which is, I'm gonna leave it like that. I'm not gonna try to force any more energy out. So I hope you guys are able to, receive and get what you need out of this. Until the next time, be kind. You are a reflection.